Minecraft Hardcore Survival. Is it worth it? Today, my friends, I want to chat about Minecraft Hardcore mode. As every single one of my videos over the last month, I have seen comments along the lines of, if you did this in Hardcore, it would look so much better. My friends, this just in, the blocks are the exact same. They don't look any different, but I want to talk about that sentiment and start a little bit of a discussion here today as we are in a hardcore world and hopefully we can survive a little bit longer. I've also seen this same sentiment as I've been going through creative videos or when I do a creative time-lapse video or something along those lines. I always see comments along the lines of, oh, if you build this in survival, it would be so much better. And well, my friends, I think I've proven that I can build things in survival just about as well as I can build them in creative mode. Now, as we're getting into this video, I want to start pretty basic, as I believe a lot of people on my channel don't really play Minecraft as far as the hardcore mode. There's a lot of people on my channel here who are pretty casual gamers, which is a totally acceptable thing. I want to start off this video by saying I'm not against hardcore mode, and I want to start a discussion. So I want to be talking about the pros and cons of the whole thing and kind of where my thoughts lie in it. And we've got a bunch of food out here that we can grab up. But Minecraft hardcore mode is, if you look at the hotbar down below that I have, you will see that the hearts have a little bit of a different shape to them, being that they have that little bit of like the V to it inside where it's a little bit darker. And what that means is that if we die, the world's over, my friends. It's gone. We can't come back. We can't respawn. We can't do anything. And I don't believe we're in ultra hardcore where your health doesn't regenerate normally. So I think we're fine on that one. But we definitely are in the mode right now where if you die, everything is gone. Just like this cow is. He's never coming back here. We would never be able to come back into this world. So why does that make it building so much better? Why is building so much better inside of hardcore mode? This is locked on the hardest difficulty, which I have my own single player survival world locked on the hardest difficulty, but in this one, if you die, you don't respawn. So hardcore mode, we're all kind of caught up here. It's just basically a thing of survive as long as you possibly can. Well, it's kind of difficult to do that for the average player, right? Like myself here, a lot of people have asked me, like, why don't you do a hardcore series? Well, we're in hardcore here today, and I don't really expect to live through this video. But that being said, is if you look at my survival world and you want to see it as a hardcore world, just go watch the first 10 episodes. I believe I died by episode 10. So you can just go do that and you're all caught up. And we've died in there about 30 times. Over 230 episodes in 3 years. So that's about 10 deaths a year. Imagine if that world was just constantly reset. It'd be very cool to be able to say like, oh my gosh, I did this in survival, in hardcore mode and built all of this. But for myself, I don't really think that's quite possible. That being said, though, there's definitely people who have managed to do that. One example that is very well known in the Minecraft community at this point would be fWhip. They had a Minecraft hardcore world that they had been working on for 5 years. They'd been in the same hardcore world without dying for 5 whole freaking years. And I still don't know how they managed that, but they were able to go through that. And there's obviously a big feat of accomplishment for lasting that long. And then they unfortunately had a run-in with a baby zombie that ended the 5-year hardcore world. All of that work done vanished. Just they can't get back to it anymore. Granted, for fWhip here being a YouTube content creator, Twitch streamer, etc., along those lines, that kind of thrust them in the spotlight and got a lot of fame going for them. So big congrats to fWhip for all of that and getting things worked out there as we're building our simple hobbit hole trying not to die. That kind of brings me to the point of where we can start talking about a few of the pros of playing hardcore mode, a few of the positives that really attract people to doing it. I guess we don't have iron yet, but let's go ahead and cook up some of our beef here. And is it nighttime yet? No, it's not, but I heard some zombies, so I'm going to go ahead and just block ourselves in here and get rid of the baby zombie threat as well. That being said, though, Minecraft hardcore, right? it's a more extreme survival experience. So if you're maybe not super into Minecraft when you're just getting started, you don't play Minecraft for the building, but a lot of your friends play Minecraft and they really love it, and you're like, well, what's kind of attracting people to it? Well, if you want that more extreme survival experience, what you can get on a lot of the other games, more like kind of a similar experience to DayZ or the other like more extreme zombie games out there, the more shooting ones and things like that, but you can still be playing Minecraft with all of your friends if you can convince them to jump over into the hardcore mode with you, maybe if they're up to your level there. And then it also attracts the rest of the Minecraft audience that is really into like the mini games, the PvPers, all the mini game players and everything like that. Maybe they're not that big of builders. Maybe they don't really like to explore the worlds and things like that. And this is a great way for them to still get that Minecraft fix that they want and still kind of test that other side and show off to their friends that, hey, I built this cool house. And I know it might not be as cool as yours, but dang it, I built this thing in hardcore mode. So obviously mine is instantly better. And so that kind of gives a cool little bit of an atmosphere for all that stuff going across the board. And our pickaxe is about to break here. And that'll do for a good replacement. And now that we have all of those new players attracted in here, that's a very big positive for Minecraft, right? That obviously grows the Minecraft experience. It gives you more things that you can do in this game, which is always good. Minecraft is a sandbox game after all, which kind of leads into the next point of this one. And the next few points here is being a sandbox game. Minecraft doesn't have too much along the ways of goals, progression markers. Maybe there's killing the Ender Dragon, or maybe there's defeating the Wither boss. But really, those things are just ways, like killing the Ender Dragon literally just gets you access to elytras and shulker boxes. Like, finishing the game really doesn't do much for you besides giving you the means to play the game more efficiently. If you think about it, there's not that big of a change to it. But inside of hardcore mode, that's a huge feat of accomplishment. You're basically saying, instead of being the way that I killed the Ender Dragon last time, is I just had a bunch of iron armor ready to go right next to the portal, and bows and arrows and swords and stuff, is I just kind of zerged down the boss, which I just kind of threw myself at it until it eventually died, because I would die, respawn, get full health bar, and the Ender Dragon's health wouldn't go back up. So obviously it worked out pretty well for me there, not so much for the Ender Dragon. You can't really do that in hardcore mode because, well, if your health hits 0, the Ender Dragon wins. You don't get a comeback for round 2. That is everything. Now, that being said, though, there is a huge positive to doing that, as I mentioned, you get your elytra, which can help you in case you're falling off of a huge edge. You have the elytra that you can get from an end city, and then that can save you from dying from those huge cliff points. Another thing that you can do to save yourself from dying, well, first and foremost, you can get the beacon from the Wither boss, which would be pretty legit here. And then on top of that, there's those lovely things called the raids, right? Which a raid can give you a totem of undying, which, as it says in the name, it makes you not die. If you're holding a totem of undying in your hand, like we're holding this cobblestone here, and your health hits 0, it's going to pop and regenerate you all the way up to the top, and then you can get a second chance at this whole hardcore thing. So doing raids and that type of progression stuff can be a great way to actually get yourself to be able to survive longer. It would be totally unfair to say that like Philza and those people who are doing those long hardcore experiences made it that far without ever having to use the totem of undying. Like, that's just, you know, see, I'm walking into berries. We're already gonna die here. We also need some wool because it's a nighttime here. Do we have any sheepies out here? But the totem of undying is a great way that you can keep playing the game for longer and get rid of a little bit of that scare factor. For myself personally, this night is dropping, and this is probably the most terrified I have been in Minecraft in a very long time, because this is not something that I am very great at. It's not why I play Minecraft. It's I'm not a PvPer in Minecraft, as you all probably saw in the last championships that I competed in. We didn't do that great as far as any of the PvP events go. We were kind of quickly eliminated there. So I'm trying to find another sheep around here so we can sleep the night away. Otherwise, we are hiding in the hole, my friends. But anyways, as we're going around this thing, it's a very cool another point for this one. This is probably one of my favorite ones that I really see a lot of people really enjoying inside of Minecraft, is hardcore gives you a reason to restart your world and set a new challenge. Like, can we get off of this tree without taking any damage? Perfect, we did it. But that being said, there's our last sheepy, is you can start a new Minecraft hardcore world and just start inside of a new biome and say, hey, you know what? I'm never going to leave this swamp biome. I'm leaving that spider though, that's for sure. Or you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to only do a hardcore survival inside of the desert. Might be a little difficult because you can't really get any wood. You can get sticks off of dead bushes, but not really very much wood. So there's a lot of different challenges you can take on inside of these different ways you can play the game. And it's a very easy way of restarting. A big thing that I am always kind of a proponent for and I kind of push for is people to not restart their Minecraft survival worlds. If you get bored of your survival world, just move like 1,000 blocks away or 1,500 blocks away, as far away from these creepers as you possibly can, and just kind of start a new base, start a new style, pick something new that you want to work on. You don't really need to push it for anything that you're going with there, but it gives you a great reason to kind of give a restart if you're doing it in hardcore. If you die, so what? That means you get to pick a new project that you can pursue, like can we craft a bed before we die? That answer is yes, my friends. We can craft a bed before we die. Now that we've talked about all of the pros of hardcore mode, where it's much more of a challenge and all that cool stuff, let's talk about a few of the negatives to it, which, you know, would probably start off with, if you die, you lose everything. You better be telling Mr. Stark that you're not feeling too good at that point, because, my friends, I don't think you're coming back. There's not much that Tony can do, really, to save you there on that one. But also, on top of that, most Minecraft players, in my experience, from what I've seen, are more casual gamers. Minecraft is a game about just kind of enjoying what you're doing, hanging out here, doing all your stuff, and playing the game like how you want to play it, and just kind of chilling. I personally use it as much as it is my job. I still use Minecraft as a great way to de-stress for the day. Whereas, let's make it a little bit longer here. If I'm tired from work for the day and working on a big Minecraft build, a lot of what I like to do is to jump in the game and just relax and go gather resources. And something like that is not quite possible inside of hardcore mode. You can never really relax, because at any point in time, it could be over. It could just be completely over for you, which is a scary thought. If you think about it, for a lot of casual gamers, that's a very scary thought when you get around to it, because everything you've been working on for the past few months, if you're not fully on and watching things, a creeper can just kind of walk up and really ruin your day. It's all over from there. There's not much you can do to really get things going backwards for yourself or fix things up. And actually, we probably want to use something else besides our cobblestone, but it's hardcore after all. We just got to make a box to keep ourselves safe inside of here. Minecraft is pretty much a big game full of mishaps, though. There's a lot of things in this game just due to how things generate here that can cause you to have a really, really bad time. It's very much not recommended. Let's do something like that, and then here we could just kind of strip it at the top. And it's just, unfortunately, there's a lot of things in this game that can go wrong, which probably the top one here being is you can just be wandering around your world and break a thing of gravel if you're like, ooh, I need some gravel to go craft up some glass so that, you know, I can build up my house a little bit better. And then that sand, not gravel, I know how to play this game, I swear, is you can go around and then all the sand can fall down. You can fall into a ravine, you can fall into lava, you can fall into a lot of different places. And if you are not ready to go and prepared with rockets, elytra, everything like that, fire resistance potions, feather falling boots, all that stuff, the game's over. So you have to live completely on edge until you are 100% geared up inside this game. There's not really an easy way that you can get through in the beginning. There's really not much that you can do there. So that's kind of a scary feeling or a scary thought for a lot of people. And I'm just very proud to say that we haven't taken damage this entire time yet. I'm very proud of myself for that one. But moving on to the next one is I like to play Minecraft to build things. Survival for me is kind of just the means to the end for this one. Survival is a fun game mode because I like to gather resources. As I mentioned, it's kind of a stress relief for me. It's really nice to just kind of chunk through an entire mesa and just break down all of the terracotta and bring it back and be like, yep, I broke all these things, or clearing out a giant chasm underground to get all of your stone and everything like that. For me, I really enjoy that type of stuff. So that kind of brings us into, there's a few positives of just kind of hanging and doing your own thing inside the game, which is very cool and just more relaxing, as instead of in the hardcore mode, it's as I mentioned, you can just kind of get blown up at any point in time. Like, I'm constantly swiveling my head around here looking for creepers because I know we went through a night, so I know there are some creepers in the vicinity. A big thing for me on that, though, is as I mentioned, I love to build things in Minecraft. I like that challenge of doing it in survival because I think it's a little bit more difficult than it otherwise would be doing, like, say, creative mode or something like that where you can just fly around. That, for me, I see why a lot of people do that when you build at such large scales, but for me, I actually love the challenge of building in survival because you can't really fly. So that, for me, is enough of a challenge right there, whereas I know some other people like that bigger challenge of the hardcore mode and everything like that. It's all okay, whichever way you want to be playing things, that's totally fine. But for me, I found that if I do it, actually, I guess we can't set a respawn point set. That's a lie. But I found for me doing it in hardcore, because I've tried it before, not on a YouTube series or anything like that, but just for myself, just to see if I enjoyed it, I found that it really kind of suppressed my creativity. I wasn't pushing myself as hard as I normally would be to build some cool, big, grand structure, because I'm worried about losing the whole thing. I don't want to put all this creative effort and energy into doing something if it's all just going to disappear. So for me, that's a big reason why I kind of avoid this type of thing, and why y'all haven't seen a major series from me so far in this one. I don't know why I'm getting too much oak wood here. We need a lot more spruce. But the factor of taking risks in everything that you do could just kind of end it all, for me, is kind of a worrying thing. That's what I really tend to avoid inside these games. But if that's what you like, that's cool. Go for it right there. And then another thing but folks, that's been a lot of me blabbing along about this amazing game called Minecraft. There's so many different ways that we can play it. If you want to live in a dirt house or get blown up like a creeper right there, that was not intentional. I just got very scared. As we are now in spectator mode, that's a great time to end this one off, I guess. Oops. But there we go. As you can see, we get blown up and it throws you into spectator mode, and we can look at our old things, but we can't do much with them here, my friends. Minecraft is an amazing game. If you want to live in a dirt house, that's totally fine. As I mentioned, if you want to be a nomad and explore forever and just keep wandering in the same direction, finding your favorite donkey or your seabirds or whatever the heck you want to do, that's totally fine as well. If you like hardcore mode and you want to play this, that is totally fine as well. That's the best part about this game. There's 1,000,001 ways to play it. And my friends, I want to get a discussion started in the comment section down below. If you all wouldn't join me down there, I'm going to read as many comments as I can and respond to a bunch of them here as well, on what do you all think about hardcore? What's your experience with it? What has that been? Where are you at with it? Do you enjoy it? Do you not play it? Why don't you play it? Those types of things. I would love to see this discussion continued down in the comments below. But my friends, I hope y'all found this video interesting. Please continue that discussion, as I mentioned, and click that like button down below if you did enjoy or thought this one was interesting or anything along those lines. If you're brand new, subscribe for more videos and things like that coming in the very near future. But my friends, I will catch you on the flip side.